Hello and welcome to 12 Games a Year. I originally was going to do this series as scripted content, and I quickly found out after the first video that I am not good at that. I am not a big fan of writing it, and I'm not a good fan of recording for it. So from this point on, these videos are going to be off the cuff, so there might be edits to cut out dead spaces and bad takes I say in quotes. But for the most part, it should be a continuous stream of ideas and nonsense coming from my brain. Ever since I posted the first video, I've been meaning to go back and redo it, but it's too late now. I wanted to give a more detailed description of the tools I will be using for these projects. While Sour is using Unity, because it's what he's more comfortable with. I have used Unity many times before, but I'm not the most comfortable with it anymore. I have kind of grown into other things. Those are the things being using the framework Raylib and the programming language Odin. Links for both of those down below. It's a lower level way of programming, and it causes me to have to do a lot more work to get the same results as he does. But I feel a lot more accomplished, and I have a lot more control over how everything goes. I also just, in general, am not a big fan of object-oriented programming, but that's neither here nor there. I haven't talked about exactly what the main loop of the game is. I didn't even mention it really in the initial video for this, but the basic game loop is you run around attacking monsters that are trying to get to the tree, and it's essentially just a survival game. Stop as many of the creatures from getting to the tree as possible and see how long you can last. Now, when I started the game at the beginning of the month, I didn't actually even have a clear goal in mind for any additional systems. I had a very basic structure. I didn't pre-plan anything, which was a horrible decision on my part, and I didn't even think about what else I wanted to do on this project until halfway through the second week. The new plan is, while you do still go around beating up monsters, protecting the tree, monsters also drop seeds, which can be used to grow plants. You have the very basic set of plants you can grow. You have the ranged spitting plant, and you have the healing plant, in addition to a plant that can draw aggro, and it doesn't really do anything else. It's a very simple idea. It's essentially just a different form of Plants vs. Zombies, but it is a solid game loop, and so far it's coming along fine. On to the actual content of the video. The mid-month devlog for the game for October for the trees. Now, I started off pretty strong. I got a lot of work done. I mostly did it in shorter bursts, which usually works better for me. I don't tend to be good for long drawn-out sessions of work. And it ended up working really well, and I got a lot of work done. I got a lot of stuff I can use for later projects. But it ended up, for the last week, it's slowed down a little bit, and that's entirely on me. I've gotten very distracted by multiple things that I'm not going to go into. But this week, I should be picking back up. I was a bit worried because I did not do this video on time. Me and Yared Sour, we had agreed on posting the video on Friday the 18th, and I kept putting it off until today is the 21st. What I've gotten so far done, just as a recap as you watch the video going on in the background, I've gotten a sprite and animation system all settled together that I can easily reuse for future projects. I also did basic sprite work. A lot of the work went into just getting basic systems up and running. sprites, movement. I looked a little bit into physics to try and deal with that bullshit, and I ended up spending way too much time trying to figure out something that doesn't exist in the framework that I use. The last things I've done over the last week or so have been getting basic AI working. It's not very good or really AI at all, but it functions. And getting drops working. I do need to pick up the pace going forward, given that I'm a little bit behind kind of what I projected the schedule to be. I only have roughly about 2 weeks to finish this. But I think by the end of this, I'm going to have a decent thing going on. That is it, though. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in 2 weeks when I have the final game all done. Bye.